All right, Gymnasticsville, we're back again. We're here in Norman, Oklahoma. 8-time national champion, head coach for the Oklahoma Sooners, Mark Williams. How you doing?
Doing well, thanks.
All right, so I want to get right to it. What does this mean to you? 81 consecutive wins. With everything going on right now, and gymnastics being so difficult, 81 wins.
A lot of great teams, a lot of guys that bought into a system, worked hard every day, and went out there and competed. We found a way to win in a lot of difficult situations over the past 3 years.
Yep.
Guys did a tremendous job. I'm proud of that, but it wasn't my intention necessarily to win every competition. Each year the goal is still the same, to put ourselves in a position to win championships, whether that be the conference or the NCAA Championships.
Okay, so just with the the makeup of your team, how important do you think it is for them for this 81 win streak to continue, or you just take it another angle, or what do you think?
Well, I want to potentially put the best team on the floor each weekend that makes sense to the progress of our team. So, there are cases where I'm not going to necessarily put every guy out there every weekend if it makes sense for them to have a little bit of rest. So it's not really about the winning streak. I'm going to look at the body of works over the next 4 months and try to put us in the best position at the end of March and into April as I can possibly have this team prepared. And it doesn't make sense to necessarily use your best guys week in and week out over and over just to win the next competition. So I'm not going to put a whole lot of stock into worrying about whether we win the next one and the next one.
Okay.
It's about putting forward that product at the end of the season that potentially is the best that we can be this year.
Okay. All right. So as we lead up to the first meet, you have this weekend against Air Force Academy. What type of preparation are the guys doing this week in gym to get ready for that competition?
Well, this will be our first competition of the season, so we're still coming off a couple of inner squads that we've done in the gym, sort of the final tweaking of the lineup and some final preparations. I've tried to have the team do individual events together a couple of different times to really get the guys that are sort of on the bubble in the lineup another chance to see if they're ready to step in. Really at this point, I still want to do quite a bit of numbers because it's early on in the season. But I do, want them ready for this weekend. Going to the Air Force Academy is also at altitude, so we've worked a little bit on our conditioning levels for that as well. So it's the beginning of the process. We want to know that we're amongst the best teams in terms of our overall score, hit routines, and kind of set a base so that we can get better from each week all the way through till April.
Okay. All right. Last year, you guys lost some, pretty nice sized depth in the squad. Alan Bauer, Colin Van Wickelen. What guys are you looking for to really kind of step up and take their place this year on the team?
Well, I think it's going to be important that some of our veterans that only did a couple of events actually do a little bit more this season. Genki Suzuki is somebody that has done the all-around, but not for the team a whole lot the past couple of years. The same's true for Levi Anderson and Matt Wensky. Those are three pretty talented guys that may have only scored on 2 or 3 events the last couple of years that do the other events and do them pretty well. So I'll probably rely on them to do more. And we've had a couple of guys that have moved up on the team from our club program. They're getting their first opportunity. So really, out of the 16 guys that are healthy right now on my roster, 9 of them really have not competed anything significant for OU. So it's a young team, you know, and probably a rebuilding year to some extent. However, I feel like if you come in and you're part of our varsity team, the expectation is the same. So you have to be ready to step up and be in championships and help us win.
Okay. Do you guys, are you guys going to be able to defend this year? And what do you think it's going to take for you guys to be able to, be where you want to be at the end of the year?
Well, we're going to have to keep working harder and getting better every day. We're going to have to stay healthy. I think the margins will be smaller this year. We won't have the same depth that we've had the last couple of years. But I think that we do have an opportunity, and it's just going to be maybe a little closer race than it has been in a while for us.
Okay.
But in the end, we're going to go as well prepared as I can make these guys. Hopefully we get to the end, everyone's healthy, and we give it a go. The team finals is an amazing animal. We've generally done pretty well in the past in that competition, and that's the night that we're going to have to bring our A game.
Okay, all right. Last time we spoke, Yul Moldauer was a little banged up, or he's just getting some rest from World Championships and everything, all the competitions. How's he looking right now in the gym?
He's upped his difficulty really on almost every event. Now, whether he'll do that all the time during the NCAA season, that's kind of a question as to what's better for the team and what's better for Yul. So we're going to try to be smart. We don't want to have unnecessary injuries or maybe push the envelope too much. But obviously, he's not only looking at helping us defend a national championship as a team, but his individual position in the world. After being in the top 10 at the World Championships, we know that he has some start value issues that need to go up. If he wants to be competitive with the top 5 in the world, he needs a little more on at least 2 or 3 of those events. So we want to make sure that we're mindful of that as well, and try to really kind of do both. And I feel like we've done that in the past with Jake Dalton and Jonathan Horton, who have been able to be successful in both arenas, and that's kind of the plan with Yul as well.
Okay, all right. And so last question, so as you're headed into the first meet, was there a certain hit percentage or anything you're going for that'll leave you with that competition, knowing that you guys are going in the right direction?
Well, at the start of the season, things happen. You're maybe not as well prepared as you want to be because it's the first time out in front of an audience, the first time this team's doing it. So, realistically, we should be within the 80-85% range of hitting, I imagine. Last year, I think we went to the Rocky Mountain Open and we hit 35 for 36 routines.
Wow.
And it was just amazing.
Yeah.
And just didn't look back after that.
Gotcha.
So I don't know if we'll be that lights out, but I think the sooner that we're able to hit and be consistent, the better our chances are as time goes on to actually then add more difficulty, get the start values where our team is comparable with the other NCAA programs, and keeping it so that it's within the framework of them doing safer gymnastics as well. I always feel like going the route of being conservative at first and then adding it as the time progresses is usually the smarter way for us. And again, we'll probably try to do that same thing this year.
All right, GymnasticsVille head coach, Oklahoma, Mark Williams.
Yes.
Appreciate it, Mark.
Thank you.
All right, go in GymnasticsVille. Boom.